Entry 9. The Watcher of the Skulls. Everything is, as they say, connected. There are things humanity should not have known. How to make fire, how to write music, how to smell the air around us. There are the skulls of the Kokeiu, and there are humans. Two distinct beings, yet now, twisted together in time. I, Mitchell, and a team of experts went back to 90YK village. We arrived by helicopter, and I soon found myself investigating the monolith in the centre. The monolith was now a floating, large prism with strange glowing runes. It seemed glossy, and when I touched it, the air seemed to warble and blanket over me, like it was trying to drown me. I then heard this droning that was low, and it went on and on. Gradually, it then seemed to be like a million words, a million screaming, distorted voices, echoing, screaming cries for help in thousands of languages. "Careful," an investigator wearing a blue trench coat far too big for him warned. "Don't let it suck you in." "What is it?" I asked. "It's, to my belief," he began, blowing a bubble from a custom-made pipe, "a prison for the souls of this village and beyond." I nodded, not really understanding what Caleb Azalea, that's his name, was going on about. "These symbols," a blonde-haired woman in a more professional attire began. "I think they talk about the schools of the Kokeiu." "Really?" "I'll write down a translation." The translation is as follows. "Abandon all hope, ye who enter here. There are things humanity should not have known. How to make fire, how to write music, how to smell the air around us. There are the schools of the Kokeiu, and there are humans. Two distinct beings, yet now, twisted together in time. You who would strike a deal with him, representative of the Six, be wary. He is a dark salesman, Kane Hunter, and he is not who he claims to be. He is not a friend, a loved one, but something otherworldly and inhuman. He is from the world between worlds, from the City of Joy, which has the ones with long faces and 7 eyes. The Kokeiu have power in this bridge world, and the entrance to this world is here, in this gateway. Quint Mognis, the fourth." "Wait! Quint Mognis? Is this an ancestor of my doctor at Company 7? Is this all connected?" And there is another inscription, this one in more detail. "From this world came 6 schools of the Kokeiu, when they themselves nearly drove their own species to extinction. Each school is formed by their own strange flesh and bone, and contain numerous properties. The enlightened gave knowledge and consciousness to life, the blinded gave fear of the dark, and strange giant abominations onto the land, but also how to hunt them. The drowned gave the ocean's wrath, and the power to tame it. The burned one gave us pain, suffering, and the power to control others. The thought school gave us mind, idea, and manipulation, and the unity gave us perception of time. Together they will summon the god of light, an unknowable one and its servant, Canis Huntera. Elwood Glass III." I did not recognise that name. The other symbols and paragraphs all told of the same things, just reworded. However, I did find it odd that they all spoke of a god of light and Canis Huntera, which I assume must be an older form of Kane Hunter. We were supposed to head towards the old Angel Institute building next, but I suddenly had this pull from the monolith. When I opened my eyes, I was in this town. All around me, the sign said, "Welcome to Joy," and "Stay with us forever," and I heard this sweet yet eerie music everywhere. That's when I noticed the people. They were all smiling smiles too large, and faces too big, but not big enough that, if you weren't paying attention, seemed exactly like humans. They all seemed to be just walking around, but their movements were too stiff, and then I saw this glimpse into them. Their faces would suddenly shift and become too long, and their eyes seemed to multiply. Before I could see more, a hand tapped me on my back. It was a hitchhiker. His eyes were still glowing white, even in the strange sun. That wasn't a sun. You? I exclaimed, confused. Yes. What do you want with me? Or the school of the blinded? Do not enter this place again, he warned, tipping his fedora. And before I could ask him more questions, he disappeared, and then I looked, searching for him, but he wasn't there. And then I looked towards the sky. There was something inhuman there, something large, rising from the ground, silhouetted impossibly, and it is impossible to explain. It was like an arm reaching out, large, long, and thin, extending from the horizon, then joined by another, then a faceless head, and last, a thin, long neck, and a naked, thin body. At the sight of this, everyone in the town seemed to twitch and look up at it. And then I found hands pulling me away, and I was on the floor, this strange investigator Azalea pulling me out. What? I coughed. What happened? You seemed stuck, the investigator responded. Stuck? You were melting into the void, he replied. It was like the strings were pulling you apart, and there was... What? Azalea had stopped before completing a sentence. I just saw something, he explained. I saw this man in a fedora watching over you, and before I saw this faceless thing try to take you into the monolith. Just, where did everyone else go? They went to the institute, Azalea informed. I'm here interacting with the monolith. Before I could warn him, he touched the monolith, and his eyes went white. No! I yelled too late. And he wasn't. Nothing seemed wrong with him. Azalea turned to me, knowing. He just closed his eyes and thought. I feel strange, Azalea monotoned. There's a unique quality in this monolith I have never seen before. I see a person, a man with a fedora, Yes, you. Suddenly, his eyes went dark and he began to melt away, but then he began to speak this strange language and then the monolith began to be ablaze. And then it was over. He had stopped and sat down on the grass. How did you do that? I asked. Simple fire spell they teach at the JPI, and also him, the man with the heart, the white-eyed hitchhiker. I saw him and who he is. Who is he? A man who asked for immortality from the schools. What a tragedy. We should go to the others now. We headed over and got into Azalea's car. It was a short drive. We could have walked, but we were both too confused. Inside, the agents and investigators were carting away piles and piles of paper, all to be researched and questioned. There was a staircase into a basement that I had previously not encountered before. It was older than the building, and made of stone. I went down the stairs, and I was met by a room carved out of stone. There were ancient cave paintings in there, and a journal on the floor. It was Gail Shard's journal. The Kokayu schools are being sought after. The date is the 15th of April, 1974, and we have made significant progress in the Patagonia caves. We have secured the school of the drowned, which appeared to us when our camp was attacked by living rain. We suspect the school of the Unity, Time, may also be in here, as members of our group saw people who were here in the past, and a strange advanced group from the future. Today I met the Watcher of the Schools. He is a strange man, and he wants me to stop looking, afraid of my goal. What a fool! When the God of Light is awakened into this realm, I will use the Crimson Heart to kill Kane Hunter and take his place as the rightful heir to oversee this sad, broken world. I will channel the light and destroy the impure and evil. And that's what was on the first page. The other pages start off telling what happened of significance on the day, then dwindle into this mass of symbols. But now, I know Gale's plan, to summon this God of Light and erase all she deems impure. But inside, I found something stranger. There were these trophies. No, medals. They were Company 7 badges, each belonging to different people. I later checked their names. All of them had gone missing or found dead in strange ways. One of them was half melted into a wall, while investigating something the company calls a skull-shaped object, incredible source of power. I did find it odd that Leviathan Kane was never mentioned, even though everything else in my investigation was. I conclude that Kane is different. He just wants to live, or change something, likely his world, and wherever he and the Shadow Paths come from. Wait, that was it! His world, and where the Shadow Paths came from. From the caves of 90IK.